So you're walking down the supplement aisle, right? And right next to the whey protein, you see this neon bottle.
Yeah, usually promising extreme fat loss or like peak physical performance.
Exactly. But the crazy part is that the active ingredient inside that plastic bottle actually comes from the bark of an ancient West African evergreen tree.
Which is a pretty massive leap, from traditional medicine to modern gym culture.
It really is. And so today, our mission for this deep dive is to look at the science and the reality of Yohimbe bark.
Right, like why this botanical is suddenly everywhere, what it actually does inside your body, and, well, the heart health facts you really need to know before trying it.
Because according to research, the bark of this tree, the Posinistalia yohimbe tree, has been used for generations. I mean, they use it to treat coughs, fevers, and even heart issues.
But its most famous traditional use, and really the reason it exploded in Western markets, is for sexual performance.
Right. And modern science basically isolated the bark's most potent compound. It's an alkaloid called yohimbine.
Yeah, and when you look at the clinical data, yohimbine is highly sought after primarily for two things: treating erectile dysfunction, or ED, and acting as a fat loss accelerator for bodybuilders.
Wait, fat loss and ED, those seem so completely different. Let's break down the mechanics of how that actually works.
Well, it really comes down to these things called alpha-2 adrenergic receptors.
Okay, so think of those receptors in your body like traffic cops or bouncers at a club. They're basically putting up roadblocks to restrict blood flow.
Exactly. And yohimbine essentially handcuffs those traffic cops. It clears the road and lets the blood rush through.
Oh, wow. And I guess that's how it helps with ED then.
It is. According to research like a 2021 systematic review, it shows genuinely promising results for ED, especially when you pair it with other treatments.
That makes sense. But what about the fat loss part?
Well, those same alpha-2 receptors, those traffic cops, they also play a massive role in fat storage. They act like locks on your fat cells.
Oh, so they hold on to stubborn fat and prevent it from being burned.
Right. So by handcuffing the cops, yohimbine is also picking the locks on those fat cells.
Freeing up the fat to be burned off during a workout, that's actually fascinating.
Yeah, once those locks are picked, the body can finally use that lipid energy. Animal studies actually demonstrate modest weight reductions when yohimbine supplementation is combined with, diet and exercise.
But wait, if it's opening the floodgates for blood flow and unlocking fat cells all over the body, what is that doing to the rest of the cardiovascular system?
Yeah, that's the catch. It basically puts the body's engine into overdrive.
Which sounds like a tremendous amount of strain on the heart, doesn't it?
It really does. Unlocking those systems comes with some pretty severe side effects. We're talking dangerously rapid heart rates, spiked blood pressure, severe anxiety.
Wow. And stomach problems too, right?
Yeah, and in extreme cases, even seizures or heart attacks. It is definitely not harmless.
So wait, is the bark itself inherently that dangerous? Or are we just dealing with, unregulated supplement companies making highly concentrated lab versions of it?
It's honestly a mix of both, but mostly the latter. It is the Wild West out there in the modern supplement industry.
Because the FDA doesn't strictly regulate dietary supplements the way they do prescription drugs, right?
Exactly. Rampant, inaccurate labeling is everywhere. You might grab an over-the-counter bottle, take a single pill, and accidentally ingest a massive dose.
A dose your body was never meant to handle all at once. You could be taking 10 times what you think you are.
Which completely explains why this stuff is strictly off limits if you're under 18, pregnant, or if you have any history of heart or blood pressure issues.
Or if you're taking antidepressant medications, from what I understand. The chemical interactions there can be genuinely life-threatening.
Completely. So, if you are determined to try Yohimbe, you really have to insist on independent, third-party tested brands.
Just to verify what's actually on the label, and definitely consult a doctor first.
Always. Especially since safer, FDA-approved prescription medications for things like ED actually exist today. You just don't have to take the risk.
The irony here is just striking to me. We took an ancient, pretty balanced botanical that was used for general vitality.
Yeah, we isolated its most aggressive alkaloid and then just crammed it into pre-workout powders.
Right. In dosages the human body was never designed for. It's a perfect example of why natural doesn't automatically mean harmless.
It really is. We want the power of the ancient forest, but we strip away all the context and, the natural balance.
Which leaves you wondering, when we take a traditional remedy, strip it down to its most aggressive chemical, and mass produce it in a lab, did we perfect nature? Or did we just strip away the safety brakes?